Okay, I think I'm ready. Are you ready? Do you have something to drink? Have some stitching? Hope so. Hi guys, welcome to Jan Hicks Creates. We are back. I am Jan Hicks. For those who this may be your first time visiting with me. Let's see, it is Friday, July 27th, 11:03 here in Maryland. It is a sunny day. My watch tells me we have a high of 86 today. I am sure it's humid out there. Summer in Maryland, that's what we deal with. At least the rain has stopped. I feel like we needed to send some of this rain to Caroline, where she is up in Joan Bag. Caroline from Off the Grid's Needlework. We had so much rain this weekend. I think 4 to 5 inches. It was crazy. Flash floods all over the place. Not affected here, but I know a lot of people were. Let's see. I have a lot to show you today. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have been banging out some finishes, some FFOs. So I'm excited to show those to you. A little bit of haul, a couple of whips, still working on Christmas in July, so that is our theme. If I mentioned recently how much I love stitching, love stitching. I was working on my winter Wonderland last night and just like, I love stitching. I know, news to you guys, huh? Let's see. Oh, my nose turned off. So yeah, got not too much to cover, but a little bit to cover. I even love the finishing. I am having so much fun finishing these little things. Deciding how to finish them, a soft finish mounted on matte board. I'm just having a ton of fun. So, get all that. Life update, Hawaii. Nothing. Just all bad news. I don't want to start my my video on a downer, but let's see. We have the paperwork that we're waiting for is still. You would think that a gazillion different people have to sign it. It's out there somewhere. It's in some office, we believe, that has absolutely no skin in this game. We don't even know why it's there. Mike can't get anybody to answer emails. It's just becoming stupid. He doesn't even have official approval yet, because until this form arrives back at HR, they can't even look at anything else. But on top of that, I think I talked to you about the whole rabies titer test that the cats had to go through. That test gets sent to Kansas State University. They seem to be the one for the country that does these rabies certifications for at least the state of Hawaii, if not other island nations in our jurisdiction. Still getting over my cold a little bit, so I've taken a Mucinex. Hopefully I'll be not too bad. So we sent them off, and what happens is when that test, that rabies test gets to Kansas State, there's a clock that starts ticking of 120 days before which we cannot arrive on Oahu. I don't know why 120 days. I don't know what that signifies. I don't know what that's for. That's the number. If your cat passes the rabies test, do you know what's coming next? Nina passed. She has twice as much of the antibodies in her blood as the number needed. Sasha has half as much. They got the test, they got the shots, their booster shots at the same time, on the same date, at the same vet. Did Nina get both the shots and Sasha didn't get his? I don't know, but Sasha failed. So what this means is I'm taking him in this afternoon. We're going to get him his rabies booster. We have to wait like another month until the antibodies have built up in his system. Then we do the titer test again. Another $400 to do this test. It gets sent back to Kansas State. When they get the test, the 120 days clock starts ticking again. So that puts us back a month. That puts us into mid-December. And as my son, God bless his little soul, said, Hawaii will still be there. It's not that much longer. I'm like, have the tables turned or what? And I know this, but I really didn't want to be here for another winter. And granted, it's only the beginning part of the winter. The additional twist this puts in it for us, though, you know, our plan was to drive the RV. We have to get the RV out to Arizona because that's where we're storing it. So our plan was to drive out there and fly to Hawaii out of Arizona. There's still, at the very last minute, there's a health certificate that we have to get for the cats. So we were going to do that in Phoenix and get all that taken care of. If we're looking at December, the last thing that any RVer wants to do is be driving in the winter. That's just never a good thing in a 38-foot rig towing a Jeep. Oh no, we won't have the Jeep. The Jeep will already have been shipped to Hawaii. But still, we don't want to be driving. And on top of that, a lot of campgrounds close in the winter because they don't want to take the chance. They turn off their water lines because they don't want to take the chance of their water lines freezing. So we're going to have to take the RV out probably in October. Just another twist that we'll deal with. I just want to know what my future holds at this point. That's all I want to know. Are we going or aren't we? Just bottom line, are we going or aren't we? So anyways, that's the update on that. Otherwise, Mike is all better. Like I said, I'm still dealing with drainage and a cough. I'm praying that it isn't morphing into bronchitis. I'm taking Mucinex. It's still something going on in there. But I think that's about all for life updates. Let's see, Flosstube. Didn't watch many new people. I did get to watch Kathy at To Dye House. I know a lot of us have mentioned her already. She's great. Great projects. Her style suits mine perfectly. She's over in New Jersey. She's a natural. She had a section called Junk in the Trunk where she left the goodies that she got at a garage sale, whatever, in her trunk. So she took us out to her trunk and she unloaded them and talked about them. She has some really cool ideas for finishing that I'm looking forward to seeing. So go check out Kathy at To Dye House. She's a lot of fun. She only has a couple videos out, so now's the time to start watching, so then you don't have to binge too much. Let's see, other news. Michelle Garrett, she is still going to be she got more goodies that she's going to be auctioning off on her Instagram account. She did two videos on Tuesday. The second one was of an estate sale that she went to, that the woman was a cross stitcher and she was a prolific stitcher. So, and she had an under the bed box. She had finished items, but she also had an under the bed box. So Michelle got that. She went through that stuff on her video Tuesday. Boy, I mean, not much of it was my style, but more country-ish, but really cute, and a ton. So I think Michelle's planning on having some of that in the auction on Instagram. So follow her there. Kelly Stadola at That's So Kelly Co. got more of the fabric in to do more of the Alzheimer Bitsy Bobs. I believe those are going to be going up today. I think she usually does her updates at 3 p.m., probably her time in Minnesota. So if you're looking to get one of those, get in line behind me because I'm going to be getting one. And I think those are going to be her bigger ones, so with the double pages. That's going to be for my hoity-toity. So excited about that. Let's see. Oh, Kitten Stitcher. If you haven't seen her latest one, she has her craft room all set up and she does a tour for us. She's calling it the Hitching Post because that's the name of the paint on her walls. But she has just walls full of gorgeous finished stitching. So if you haven't seen that yet, which I'm sure most of you have, but if you haven't, run, don't walk, check out her video. Let's see. I think that's all for Flosstube news. So let's get to stitching. Like I said, I'm having a ball finishing things. So Now this is one you've seen before. These are my Christmas ornaments. So this one you've seen before. I showed this last week. That was the first one I finished. And up until now, all of these have been all hand stitched. So this is the next one. So I got, and I'll show that in a second, I got one of the Kreinik cord makers. So I used, I wanted to get a floss. Well, number one, pretty much all of the flosses in here are overdyeds. And as much as I think the look would be gorgeous, I don't want to use, because it takes a lot to make the cording. I didn't want to use up my overdyed floss in the cording. So I found some greens that I thought coordinated well with the fabric. So it's 2 colors of green floss twisted together. Now, this little doober, this is a bead from my jewelry stash, jewelry making stash. I put that on there and I can see now that it's a little bit off center. Oh well. So whenever you start and end the cording, when you make the cording, you have a long piece of floss, right? And you twist the little quarter maker and you twist it all up, and then you hang that cord maker in the center of that twisted piece and let it drop and twist on itself. And so where the cord thing is, you know, it's basically the floss folded in half, so you have a fold there. Well, you're supposed to start attaching your floss. According to Vanna, Vanna's my expert, right? She's all of our expert. You're supposed to start attaching at that fold and then attach around, and then when you get to the other end, you kind of do a tie knot on where you've ended and then cut off after that, so that that tie keeps the twist intact, right? I started at the wrong end on this side. So basically I had to do a tie on here and a tie on here to hold the twist in place. And you can, I don't know whether you can see, this one's actually coming apart a bit. It's a little bit looser. It was an ugly join. It was not pretty. So I just used this little bead. It's a big hole bead on either end to kind of finish it off and hide those ugly ends. I think it works. It may not be ideal. I would have preferred if I had a gold one, but you know, I think it works. So that's that one. I got, well, let me show this one first. This is my little Prairie Schooler 2x2 deer. So these are just both mounted on mat board with the rickrack. Simple to do, fast to do, love it. I had gotten this sled at Joann's when they were having their clearance on their Christmas stuff last year. I got this color and I got a cream one. Don't really care for the cream color too much, so I may have to do something to that. But I thought this was perfect. This piece ended up being a perfect 4x6 finished piece. And this is a 4x6 frame. So I added the rickrack, just glued it down. And that, I mean, I didn't even like do anything to the stitched piece. It's just sitting in here. There's a piece of white behind it that is actually the paper, you know, the kind of ad that's in the frame when you buy it. Just flipped it around so the white side is showing, put it in there, put the stitching on, closed it up. So that was a quick one. And then last but not least, I finished this little guy last night. Now this one, this is a Michael Powell ornament. I got a book of Michael Powell ornaments from Amazon, yay, and I will be showing that later. So I finished this one up, did the stitching 2 days ago, and then did the cording and attached it. And the cording is just glued on, and you can see here what I mean by the fold. Do you see that? And so the other end is just kind of tucked behind there and glued. I said on Instagram that I'm not real thrilled with my my cording color choices. I picked out the floss I used here and here and here. And I used 2 pieces. It's 2 full 6, you know, the 6-strand floss. You don't separate it, you use the whole 6 strands. So I used 2 of the coral and then the yellow and the orange. And I wanted to get the look of the flames. I kind of wish I think that it was a little darker. I'm not thrilled with it, but I do like how it's finished. And wait till I show you the ornaments in this book, every single one of them. I'm going to continue doing the rest of the ornaments in that book for the rest of the year. You know, 1 a week, 1 every couple weeks. I'm not going to, you know, kill myself. Oh, and this just has a some yellow fabric. This is actually some of the fabric from my stash that was my mother's, or that was passed from my grandmother's friend. I can't remember, part of their quilting stash that got handed down to me. So that's just placed on mat board, and that's placed on mat board. And then I just glued the cording in between. So I love that. It's so cute. I mentioned how much I love stitching, and I love the finishing. I'm like, okay, so I did a little Stitch With Me video on Instagram, on the IGTV the other day, doing the back stitching for this. And I talked about how I don't really mind back stitching, especially with this. I had a picture on Instagram of this. Let me see if I can find it, because it's really illustrative. And I know we all know how important back stitching is, and how it changes a project, but here is this. I think the stitching's almost done. Boy, is that a, whoops, wrong way. That's kind of hard to see. All right, so that's most of the stitching on this before back stitching. Just a little bit different, huh? So as I was doing the Stitch With Me, I was like, you know, I don't mind back stitching because it just makes the piece come alive. And it's the same way with knitting and blocking. There are so many people who knit who hate to block, and I love to block things. I don't consider something finished until I've blocked it, because that really, like with lace knitting, holy cow, it looks like crap until you block it. A sweater is just stupid looking until you block it. So I love blocking, and I think I feel the same way about my finishing these things. I'm having so much fun with these. Picking different flosses, picking different materials. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have a under the bed box. Too fun. So I do have a couple things yet I have to finish. So this is my little Northstar Mandala. Totally picked different fibers than what the called ones were for. I started with this, it's an over-dyed by Needle Necessities. And then the purple is a marlet, which is a rayon floss, which is a pain in the butt to deal with, but it sure is pretty. And then some metallic, that's DMC silver. So I've already I made the cording for this yesterday out of the over-dyed floss. This is one instance where I didn't mind using over-dyed floss because I have 2 20-yard skeins of this over-dyed. Now, the reason this isn't attached yet is, number 1, I didn't have the time, but number 2, I just think it might be too skinny. What I think I'm going to do, I was thinking because this is a smaller pillow, that maybe I wanted a smaller trim, and actually that doesn't look too bad, but what I think I'm going to do is, I don't know whether I can twist after I've already twisted, but what I would like to do is add some of the marlet. So what I think I'll do is twist of marlet, and then see if I can twist them together, if that works. We'll see. I'll report back. But anyways, that one's all stuffed, all stitched together. Again, all hand stitched and almost ready to finish. So the only 2 I have to finish yet are this one, And I'm going to use this fabric for the backing. And this is the one I had talked about dyeing some with my spritzers, the Walnut Stain, and so I did that. I'm not as thrilled with this one. I think it washed out quite a bit, but it's okay. And then I'm going to use this ribbon and just ruch the ribbon. I think I have enough, maybe. This ribbon just was wrapped around one of my fat quarter bundles that I bought at Joann's. Hopefully it'll work. And then the other one is this one with the binding. Now, up until now, I have been hand stitching, right? And I've been putting this one off because I'm a little intimidated to try and hand stitch the backing and the binding and this together. But the good news is that I don't have to hand stitch anymore. Un momentito. My friend Marnie, who lives here in the apartment with me, not in the apartment, in the apartment complex, she got a fancy new machine, a fancy new Husqvarna with a touch screen. She's a quilter, so she got a fancy new machine, and she gifted me her old one. It's not in perfect working condition, but it is in working condition, and for the little bits and pieces that I have to do, I think it will be fine. So I will be hopefully working on one of these this afternoon. If you hear mad screaming coming from Maryland, it's me wrestling with the sewing machine. Hopefully we won't get in too many fights. If we do, I'll be calling Marnie. All right, so I have had several people ask me about this beauty hanging behind me. So continuing the FFOs, I'd showed this on a video a while ago, and I know I have a lot of new subscribers since then, and a lot of people have asked me about it, so I thought I'd go ahead. And I keep it hanging behind me just because it's too pretty to put away in a drawer. Hold on. Getting kind of growly. So this is called Chestnut Crescent. It is by a designer named Kieran Foley, who lives in Ireland. His name on Ravelry is Knit/Lab. He is known for very intricate, advanced patterns with a lot of color. This is Intarsia Fair Isle. And what that means is each one of these sections is worked as intarsia, meaning that each had a separate strand of yarn going into it that wasn't connected. You know, usually yarn's connected across the whole piece. With intarsia, you're working sections that aren't connected. So that's how all of these, actually this section, I think, it was separate strands. Well, it was separate here and here and here. So there's an interesting story about this yarn as well. So there's a main color that's white with speckled, and I think that was probably hedgehog fibers, one of the hedgehog fibers. And then the other one was a Three Irish Girls, these are all both fingering weight. It was the Three Irish Girls already caked, and I don't remember what they called them, but it was already caked gradient. But it had all these different colors in it. It wasn't necessarily a gradient, but you know, whenever, I think I've mentioned this before, whenever dyers want to get a specific color change in their yarns, a lot of times they will knit on a knitting machine a blank, what's called a sock blank, or just a blank, which is just stockinette stitch, straight stockinette stitched knit on a knitting machine. Then they lay that out flat and they hand paint it, they dye it and hand paint it. And then they unravel that blank once it's dried and wind it into a cake. So that's what we had. But what I did, because I wanted to control the color even more. And because I needed all these separate pieces of color, I went through and cut that skein apart and wound them all into little tiny balls. And so that's what I was working with for all these different sections. And so the darker, you can see I had the darker here, and I made sure that I used the darker little balls in here to separate the pieces. And I don't know whether you can see on the back how this was you can see the ends fluffing out here. This is a separate yarn, this is a separate ball, this is a separate ball, this is a separate ball. So all of these were separate little tiny balls of yarn in order to get the color play that I wanted. So this really is, it is an advanced piece. It really is something that I consider one of my masterpieces. And that's why it stays out here on the chair behind me. Chestnut Crescent by Kieran Foley. All right, so where are we? Whips. Don't have a whole lot of whips to talk about. Like I said, still concentrating on Christmas in July. So let's see. First, we have Winter Wonderland. And so this is the one by Kaniki's Whims and Prims. I didn't get out the picture, I'm sure. I just have it as a PDF. So what's going to happen here, you can see, okay, I have a tree here. I have a tree starting here, and this will stand out more. There's also going to be snow on the branches here, so it's going to look like that. So that will stand out more once I get the snow on the branches. I have my little bird here that was 1/1. There's a fence line here. There's going to be a deer here. And then Bell Snickle Santa is here. And then there's more birds, and I think there's birds in some of the trees. So all this is going to be built out. This is also a bird. It's a rather big bird. I think it's meant to be in the foreground, so there's some perspective things going on here. But this is a lot of fun to have the stitching on the printed fabric and to see how it all plays together. I'm having a ball with this. Like I said, this is the one I was working on last night thinking, I just love stitching. Now I will say, there is some residue on the fabric from the printing, and you can't really see it. I can feel it. It does not interrupt the stitching at all. Every once in a while I might get a little bit, like when I poke my needle through on the tip of the needle, and I use a sewing method. It doesn't slow me down. It doesn't interrupt the stitching at all. There might be a couple times when the hole's a little bit gunked together, if you will, but I'm not having any problems with it. And it's totally worth whatever. So there's that. I still have quite a bit more to do on that, obviously, but I'm going to keep plugging away. That's not going to get put away just because Christmas in July is over. And then we have the Mill Hill Believe piece. Moving right along on this. Love it. I still hope to be done with this by the end of the weekend. Oops, my needle is all over the place. But we shall see. So I have all of the stitching, the cross stitching done. Hold on a second. Drape that needle over top. Oh, come here, for heaven's sakes. I'm arguing with my needle. Do you guys do that? Guess since I don't have my kids to argue with. Anyways, all the cross stitching is done. I'm working on, can you see there's purple outlining on the letters? That's what I'm working on now. The only other back stitch is, oh look, I forgot his eye. Gotta do that. There's a little bit of back stitching here. I think that's all the back stitching. And then on to the beads. So really happy with how that's looking. It's so cute. Love the colors. And I'm just gonna get one of the Mill Hill frames, probably in blue. Yeah, probably in blue. to frame this. I'm not going to try and do anything fancy with that. So the other whip is my Crowns Wool Mystery Knit Along. This is going to get harder and harder to not show you the parts that aren't out yet, but hold on, I'm already having problems. So she put out clues 3 and 4 this week. Last week she had put out clues 1 and 2, and I think I only showed you clue 1. So let's see. Clue 1 was this down here. Clue 2 is a lace section. Clue 3 is that. And clue 4 is another bit of a lace interspersed with garter and stockinette. It is so pretty. Like I said, I'm really loving this. It's easy without being boring. She changes the stitches often enough that you know, they're not hard. Some of them are different. Some of them she made up herself, which is always cool. The texture is fantastic. And like I said, I'm just using mini skeins, and I'm loving the color progression that I've chosen. Look at that purple. Isn't that just gorgeous? Space Cadet mini skeins. Can't say enough good things about them. So anyway, this is going to get harder and harder to show you as it gets bigger, or as more is revealed, without revealing what I can't reveal yet. So bear with me. All right, so those are the whips. Let me check my notes. All right, haul. Not a whole lot of haul. Okay, I talked about the cord maker. So this is the Krynic, and it's Krynic, K-R-E-I, Krynic. Just have to put that out there, Krynic. Sorry. There's certain things that are pet peeves of mine, and that's one of them. So this is their cord maker, really easy to use. Great instructions come with it. Vonna has great tutorials out there. Highly recommend. So easy. So there's that. Did I show you this the last time? I think I did. I ordered, Julie got back into stock. Julie Gulf Coast Stitches got back into stock. The other charts like this, so she had summertime, springtime, and Christmas time. The only one I think she couldn't find was autumn time, fall time, whatever it might be. But I ordered the ones that she did have, so those are on their way. Love that. But I think I showed you that. So I got my XG Designs Fabric of the Month fabric. I am signed up for 3 months, and I'm getting the primitive 36 count. This is called menthe syrup, so like creme de menthe, menthe syrup. Really pretty mottled green. Just, God, look how pretty. Don't know what I'll use it for. Actually, this one smells more vinegary. She must have used vinegar to set it. Or maybe that's the starch. I don't know. But Fabric of the Month, Primitive, July. Yay. Love her fabric. Love it. She did a post on Instagram the other day of new stuff she had dyed that she was putting up, and it's so hard not to just go and buy it all. Mama Joan. This is my first Mama Joan bag. Yay! Mama Joan's Alzheimer's bag. You guys have all seen these before. This is my first one. So this is the one that, this is the fabric that Kelly is getting in, or she got in, that she should be putting up new ones today. So it matches this. And I have to have a matching set because this is going to be used for hoity-toity. And I need that bigger Bitsy Bob for my hoity-toity with all those different floss colors. So, as you can see, I didn't use it. per the rules. I don't often follow that rule, but this time I did. And then the last part of haul that I got, hold on. Checking, good. Okay. By the way, I wanted to say, talk about segue bunny trail out of the blue. I put makeup on for you guys today. There's been a couple of us in our videos have said, oh, I don't have makeup on, you're getting me like I am, and oh, you know, I need to put makeup on. I don't usually put makeup on because I hate putting makeup on. I more hate taking it off than putting it on. But I put makeup on for you guys today. My skin's a mess. I don't know whether this really helps. I'm not a makeup artist. I don't know much about makeup. I know it makes me look better though. So I put makeup on for you guys today. Anyways, Michael Powell's 20 to Stitch Christmas Cross Stitch. Off of Amazon. $9.50, $9.99. Not expensive at all. And so many great charts. So many. Look at that cute little thing. So I'm going to try and do this without showing you the charts, which is always a good thing. It has several different candle ones. And these are all going to be such quick stitches. The back stitching probably does take as long as... No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Isn't that cute? He kind of reminds me of Dr. Seuss. That kind of whimsical, colorful. I can see this. This is the one I just showed you. I could see these in as decorations in Whoville. So cute and whimsical and colorful. Now this is totally a different style. Look at that. I would do beads all around there. I love this one. So pretty. Look at the coloring in here. And he does have some blended threads, you'll see. But isn't that pretty? And I think a lot of the colors are probably all like the same across the different ornaments. They all have that same kind of color palette for the most part. This is so cute. I love the blended colors in that sky. Now this one uses quite a bit more floss colors, but look how pretty that is. And doesn't that just say Whoville to you? That says Whoville to me. I think that's so cute. This is the one I did. This one's pretty. Goodness gracious. See? Aren't they all so cute? This one's very similar to the star. And I could actually, I wonder if there's a third one like that to kind of do a triptych of them. 3 in a row. So pretty. Oh, this is just a real simple, if you wanted a border. There's a third one. That might be metallic in there. I'd have to put on, oh, yep, DMC metallic light gold. Pain to work with, right? But worth it. And there's another one that says Noel. So pretty. Oh, this one I love. Isn't that pretty? I just love his shading on these. He has quite a few of the little square ones actually. And simple to finish, just as, you know, like I showed you on the mat board. Love that one. And that's not necessarily just Christmas, that's just happy. All right, so that's all of those. Highly recommend this book. Highly recommend it. Okay, so plans. Christmas in July is coming to an end. No, I don't want to pay with Apple Pay. Technology. So Christmas in July is coming to an end. So I'm still going to work on Winter Wonderland. Probably, maybe I'll start doing the Santa Saturday, or what is it that Priscilla and Chelsea have for the Christmas themed ones. Of course, I'm also supposed to be doing Sally Spencer Saturday and Chatelaine Sunday. I'm going to get back to those because I do want to work on those. But yeah, I'm going to probably once a week. Who knows when? Maybe Wednesday. Wednesday will be Winter Wonderland Wednesday. Plan. Got it. Awesome. Okay, so we also have some sales starting. And this is thanks to, well, the 'Tis the Season one, of course, everybody's doing and everybody knows about. And if you aren't doing it and you don't know about it, where have you been? You have to join us because everybody's doing it. Makes me want to break out into a song, but I won't do that to you. But that doesn't start till September 1st. So let me first talk about this other one. And this one is Christine's fault. Christine, Stitch All the Things. If you haven't seen her latest vlog, she's doing like 52 sales starting in the next 2 months. All right, that might be a slight exaggeration, but she's doing a lot. She's doing them all. And part of me is jealous. I really, really want to do that patriotic one, but I'd really, really want to do it in the silks, and I'm just not going to put that kind of money out right now. It is gorgeous, though. The Jeanette Douglas Patriotic Sampler. Have you guys seen that? Love it. I'm living vicariously through Julie. Julie, get it back out. Get working on it. Christine is doing wonderful things with it. Who else is doing that one? Pam just got the stuff. I got to see what her progress is on that. So yeah, I love that one. I would love to do it, but I'm not going to. I can say no. But what I am doing is this one. This one starts August 14th. It's the Things Unseen Mystery Sampler by Lizzie Kate. I have had these charts for a while. I got this fabric. This is an XG Designs fabric. Yeah, it kind of blows out when it's sitting here for a while, but it's called Light Desert, so it is kind of a peachy, rosy, dusty color. So totally different than what's called for. I don't care. I love it. This is a 36 count. I have noted down that, let's see, the colors are, the flosses, I think she has DMC conversion, but it's Weeks. Weeks Dye Works are the ones she calls for in here. I have more Gentle Arts than I do Weeks, but of course I also have Victorian Motto. So I am going to, once Christmas in July is over, I'm going to look through my flosses and do a conversion for this with what I have on hand. For the most part, I might get some Gentle Arts when I go to the store. I have to see what I have that works. Speaking of flosses and stuff. All right, so most of you know that I did Stitch Mania. Did a new start every day for pretty much every day. Did whips too for 31 days. So this means that I have a boatload of flosses spread across 31 bags. I cannot tell you how frustrating it has been and how time-consuming it's been to find flosses for my Christmas things. Whether it was trying to find the called-for floss or trying to find a conversion. I know that Victorian Motto Brown would work perfectly in this. Where is it? And as much as I feel like I'm pretty good at keeping notes of everything in my Xstitch app, there are some things that I must have moved just on the fly and didn't update the Xstitch app. And so, you know, we can't have a Flosstube video go by without messing with our hair, right? Yeah. Anyway, I'm frustrated. So I'm thinking of basically dismantling a lot of my whips. The things that I know that I'm not going to get to for a while, I think I might take the floss out and put them away. Now, putting away is a problem that I have. See that bin sitting back there? It is full of floss, either stuff that I've used in Christmas in July, stuff that I've used in finishes that I've never put away, stuff that I've used, or flosses that I've gotten, like Nancy's floss pack, the Floss Club from July. That little shoebox sized bin is full. So I'm not the best at putting away, but I need to, because having all the floss, I know I have it, it's just scattered, is kind of driving me crazy. Now, that being said, I'm not going to be starting as much as I have been this month, starting a new ornament every couple of days. Of course, isn't something that's going to be happening the rest of the months, but I don't know. So I don't know. Tell me what I should do. Advise me. So the other sow, and speaking of floss conversions, 'tis the season, starting Labor Day weekend. So I'm using, I've shown you this before, I'm using Sterling by, I believe this is Picture This Plus. And I pulled out my floss conversion. I did not get, I was debating, I think I talked to you the last video, debating whether to get the new pack that Nancy, Victorian Motto Threads, has made. And a lot of people have already gotten their first order of that. I decided not to do that, because I have enough floss that'll work. So I don't know whether I can hold this up and so that you can actually see it. But these are the colors that I'm using. So most of them are Victorian with some gentle arts thrown in. That DMC back there, the white, I'm going to have to go and find. 5200 may work, and it's in a bag someplace. I haven't pulled it out yet. But I'm going to take this fabric with me when I go to the stitching post and hold up, like Weeks has a white called Santorini. Doesn't that sound wonderful? I want to see what that looks like. If it's as bright of a white as I think it should be, according to the name, I think it would look good. I think it'll still stand out with this. So yeah, that's my plans. I will be getting back to Harbor Haven. Part 8 is out. Part 8 came out in July. Part 9 will be coming out August 10th. So I will be kicking butt on that, trying to get at least a good chunk of 8 done before 9 comes out. Because like I've always said, I don't want to fall behind on that. All right, I think that... Oh, and the other thing... slap me. Just tell me to stop. So Caroline, again, off the Grid Needle Arts, I saw a post this morning that this is Sunday High Tea Sunday. For those that don't know, that haven't heard of that, every month, the last Sunday of every month, Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts hosts a Sunday High Tea, which is a time for us to start a new project, something that has been languishing in our stash, something that we've been considering special, that we've been waiting on for a special occasion. Sunday High Tea is that special occasion. I'm thinking of starting, and I was going to pull it out. Let me do that right now, because it's right here. When I saw that post, my brain immediately went to this one. I have the material, I have the floss. I have most of the floss, I don't have all of it. This has been eating away at the back of my mind for a while because I just adore this. It's going to take a long time. It's a big piece. What does it say? Does it give the stitch count here? I know the stitch count was someplace convenient, but I can't find it now. But I think the length is like 600 some. Yeah, it doesn't say it. Someplace easy. But anyway. So as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, I could start 4 seasons. And then I was like, Jan, you have all of those whips from Stitch Mania. Get some of those done. But I might start this instead because, you know, it would just be like putting some stitches on it on Sunday. What's the harm in that? Chatelaine, Chatelaine, Chatelaine Sunday, right? Guys, we have giveaway winners. So let's move right along to that. Let me wet my whistle. Alrighty, so our winners from last week. Again, I've already posted on their comments that they've won. I think one of them has already responded, or at least she gave me a thumbs up. Yay! Okay, so the yarn Dovestone DK and this beautiful purple color was won by Nancy Fisher. Yay! I love this yarn. It made a gorgeous sweater. So congrats, Nancy. Frosty. Oh, and the yarn, we had 13 people who wanted that. Frosty, this of course was the most popular one. Snow Business by Just Nan. It comes with that snowflake charm in the center. We had 37 people who wanted this. The winner was Peggy Newton. Yay, Peggy. That's such a cute one. And then last but not least, the stocking. The stocking did not get any love at all. We only had 2 people interested in this. So, Craft and Bev won this. All right, so everybody, like I said, I put comments on. So email me your address and I will get those in the mail. Now, this one. This was a giveaway from the first week. A gentleman named William Dennison won it. I put a comment on his comment. I have never heard from him. So I am going to do another giveaway for this. So please, if you are interested in this, put, oh heck, I think what we had put before was I like winter, so let's do that again. So I like winter. If you want to win this chart, in your comments, put I like winter. All right, now, what we have left is the prizes, gifts for that I'm giving away via Instagram. Now, I think there might have been a bit of confusion because there's some people that put in their comments here what I want them to put on Instagram. So this is for people, if you have posted on Instagram with the tag JHC Christmas in July, you're eligible to win these prizes. You could have posted as many times as you wanted over the month. Every post gives you another entry. And so it's taking place over on Instagram, not here on YouTube. So if you have posted, or if you're going to post again, please, and a couple people have, but not many people have, please put in your comments which one of these you're interested in. And I am also going to, I should have done this before and I didn't think of it. Duh. Can you tell this is my first time? I'm going to do a post on Instagram with the information as well. But anyways, so the giveaways for Instagram are the Nugget Peds Kit from Laura Nelkin. If you want to win this, put I like nuggets. Or did I say I like yarn? Either yarn or nuggets, I'll take either. I better note it down. Yarn, I think I might have said yarn. So let's keep it yarn because that's what I've been saying. I like yarn. And it comes with the yarn to make the set as well as beads. And on the postcard, there is a code that you will put in on Ravelry on the product page, or when you're checking out where it says apply code, coupon code. And what you want to do is, I don't know whether you know this, when you're in Ravelry and you're buying something, if you do buy it now, it's kind of like a one-click shopping on Amazon. It will just take you to checkout. what you want to do is add it to your cart and then go to checkout, and that's where you'll see the coupon code option. And there's a code on here that will give you the pattern for free. So there's that. This one was I Like Snowflakes. And again, I'm just noting down so I make sure I put down what I said in Instagram. So this is the Country Cottage Needleworks. This is the one that I finished back there. And every time I plan on bringing it closer so you can see, and every time I forget, so I'm sorry about that. But this is a super cute one. I love doing this one. Then we have the 2 stocking charts, and it's also the other patterns in those. So that's going to be I Like Stockings. And then the last one is the Maureen Appleton little Christmas chart. I Like Christmas. And I believe you can go back and edit. You know, I wonder if it might not just be better for you guys to just DM me on Instagram which one of these you're interested in. So that way I don't have to worry about missing it if it's in a comment, if it's in a past comment. I've tried to keep up on it, but just in case, I think I'm going to say DM me which one you'd like. And like I said, I'm going to go do a post as soon as I get this started to upload. I'm going to do a post on Instagram with all of this. And hopefully it's clear that you have to have posted under the hashtag JHC Christmas in July in order to be eligible. Okay, guys, I think that's all. Remember, this one you're going to post just here on YouTube, I Like Winter, if you would like that chart. And that I will draw next. Plan ahead, Jan. Think ahead. No, that would like make too much sense. Next Friday, I'm going to be in Orlando. I'm going to go back to Tuesday, I think, for my videos. So I'll be doing another one on Tuesday the 31st, where I will draw that, and I will announce the winners for these. And that will be the end of Christmas in July. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you for helping me get rid of my stash. I appreciate it. Maybe someday I'll even go to Hawaii, which is what this is all about, clearing out. I don't know. Anyways, thank you for being here. I am almost at an hour. Holy cow, I didn't think this was going to be that long, but here we are. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Find your joy. I know I have. I hope you guys are finding the joy in stitching or knitting or whatever it is you're doing. Like, I just feel so fulfilled when I'm sitting here doing this. And sometimes I think, what am I going to do with all of this? At some point somebody's going to have to do something with this. I don't care. I find joy in every stitch, and I hope you do too. Have a great weekend. I will see you Instagram, Flosstube, Facebook, all the things. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later.